Is it true that Jungkook and Taehyung have left BTS? Nothing is more shocking than the fact that two BTS members, Jungkook and Kim Taehyung, long regarded as irreplaceable pillars of the group, suddenly appeared in a series of activities beyond HYBE's control, and more astonishingly, Si Hyuk himself issued a statement that only added fuel to the fire. Amid public confusion, one question now echoes loudly: is this the beginning of BTS's downfall, as many ARMY have long feared? This unanticipated phenomenon exploded like a time bomb when Jungkook and Taehyung were seen carrying out private agendas overseas, including a mysterious collaboration with international figures like Justin Bieber. Many fans immediately interpreted this as a signal something has broken within BTS. But the most painful part isn't the lack of information, it's the presence of vague clues seemingly planted to blur the truth. And now, Si Hyuk's own statement not only fails to calm the storm, but opens a new wound that had been tightly sealed. What is really happening? Have Jungkook and Taehyung truly severed ties with BTS? Was this a unilateral decision, or is there a hidden force that's been pulling strings behind the scenes? It seems someone has been trying to silence these questions from the start, but ARMY are too intelligent to be quieted by fabricated narratives. Si Hyuk, the central figure behind BTS's formation and success, appeared at a public forum and made comments that directly referenced the members' involvement outside of group activities. Instead of confirming BTS's unity, he issued statements open to wide interpretation, implying that decisions made by Jungkook and Taehyung are no longer under the agency's domain. This seemingly simple yet loaded remark instantly ignited collective outrage among millions of fans who felt betrayed by the narrative of eternal togetherness. Many are questioning how two members with such vital roles in BTS history could operate so freely without agency coordination. Why do their activities appear designed to exist beyond HYBE's reach, as if they're no longer under the same roof? More shockingly, why is it Si Hyuk, the symbol of stability, who seems to be shifting responsibility and allowing the public to draw their own conclusions? The separation becomes more apparent as several social media sources report that Taehyung and Jungkook have been in intensive communication with external parties since mid-year. One prominent speculation is that the two have entered creative collaboration negotiations with international labels, without HYBE's involvement. The fact that their activities have unfolded simultaneously raises speculation that this move was planned long ago, possibly even before their military service began. Tension peaked when video clips showed Si Hyuk dodging questions about Jungkook and Taehyung's current BTS status. No clarifications, no promises to explain, just ambiguous gestures and remarks that only deepen suspicion. ARMY began piecing together fragments of information, and what they found wasn't just confusion, it was a pattern. Obfiscation. Why have the two most influential members in BTS's global rise become the most invisible in HYBE's official agendas in recent months? While music projects and agency anniversary celebrations were heavily publicized, Jungkook and Taehyung's names were conspicuously absent. They're not on active military duty, so there's no logical reason for their complete absence. Industry analysts are calling this one of the most extreme, silent strategies ever implemented in Korean entertainment history. When an agency refuses to deny, confirm, or control the narrative, the only thing left is public interpretation, and that interpretation has now morphed into mass anger. Most fans feel betrayed, believing in a narrative of unity that's now unraveling through increasingly obvious signals of separation. Meanwhile, Jungkook and Taehyung's individual activities are growing more intense and professional. Their collaborations with international artists, appearances in non-HYBE studios, and presence at key global music locations suggest they're not on vacation. They're building something significant, and apparently, without their old agency's involvement. One statement from Si Hyuk about the members' artistic freedom backfired. The public interpreted it to mean that if such freedom involves breaking away from the BTS brand, then this is no longer about exploration, it's about deliberate separation. The question now is, who decided on this separation? Did HYBE allow it, encourage it, or even initiate it for reasons we don't yet understand? ARMY's reactions across social media platforms cannot be ignored. Hashtags of anger, demands for clarification, Even boycott calls have emerged from various countries. Thousands of fans voiced their disappointment with the fake unity narrative that had been maintained. They supported BTS not because of a brand, but because of the values of togetherness that had long been upheld. And now, that value seems to have been compromised. Many are also pointing out the timing of Bang Si Hyuk's statement. Why speak only when speculation is already raging? Why was there no response when Jungkook and Taehyung's names were removed from HYB's official promotional events? This fuels theories that a silent agreement was already in place to distance the two artists from the BTS brand. What's more concerning is that this decision doesn't seem accidental. Observers are beginning to suspect that Jungkook and Taehyung's departure from HYB's orbit is the result of a long-standing conflict that was never made public. Have there been creative differences, unequal treatment, or internal pressures that push them to go their separate ways? If that's true, then Bang Si Hyuk's statement isn't a clarification. It's the final signal from a relationship that has long been fractured. ARMY now faces the bitter reality that the BTS unity they've defended may have been an illusion maintained for market and investor stability. In this increasingly heated atmosphere, one thing becomes clear: the public will not stay silent. They demand clarity, not metaphors. They want certainty, not ambiguous phrases. They want to know, is BTS still intact, or did Bang Si Hyuk's statement signal the end of an era? If today the public is silenced by vague wording and neutral gestures, tomorrow may be the day when the truth explodes even more. ARMY has never been passive spectators, and now they are the strongest force pushing HYB to reveal the entire hidden narrative. Have Jungkook and Taehyung really left BTS? Or have they been quietly removed all along? ARMY's anger isn't just about losing two members, it's about the betrayal of the values they've long protected. And if Bang Si Hyuk believes the public can be appeased by neutral, substance-less statements, he may have misjudged who truly holds the greatest power in BTS's history. Not the label, not the producers, but the millions of hearts that gave them meaning. Now, the world waits with bated breath. Because if Jungkook and Taehyung have truly exited BTS, this isn't just a change in lineup, it's the greatest identity crisis in the group's history. And all of that, ironically, is only strengthened by the silence and ambiguity of those meant to safeguard IT. Bang Si Hyuk's statement circulates widely and gets linked to John Jungkook and Kim Taehyung's increasingly independent activities outside BTS's formal structure. The most fundamental question arises: are we witnessing the collapse of the most influential group in Korean music history? Or is this all a strategic illusion crafted to generate global public attention? That question is not rhetorical. In a situation where information flows rapidly and uncontrollably, the public must force themselves to scrutinize every piece of data. Do you truly believe that Bang Si Hyuk no longer controls the two most valuable artists in HYB's history? Are Jungkook and Taehyung's independent actions a form of freedom, or a response to long-hidden internal pressure? It's time the public stops being passive consumers of narratives shaped by video clips, viral photos, or sensational headlines without concrete data, reality, or fabrication. We must dare to ask that of every piece of content we see. Don't forget that the sources fueling this uproar are mostly unverified: TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, platforms that often prioritize engagement over accuracy. But in this context, the public faces two equally dangerous extremes: accepting everything as absolute truth, or dismissing it all as lies. But the most important stance lies in between: healthy skepticism. Are you sure Bang Si Hyuk's ambiguous statements are concrete proof that Jungkook and Taehyung left BTS? Or are they just public diplomacy meant to mask deeper, more complex internal conflicts? If we examine carefully, the communication pattern in recent months leans toward obfuscation, not clarity. No certainty, no clear declaration, and no unified narrative. On one side, we see Taehyung and Jungkook engaging in intense non-BTS activities. On the other, HYB offers no corrective steps to dispel public assumptions. So, is this silence a tacit admission? Or is it part of a marketing strategy designed to generate massive emotional engagement from global fans? This is a critical juncture we must understand together. Social media has created a culture of noise where speed of information is valued over its accuracy. How many of us read one snippet of news and immediately draw sweeping conclusions? How many share emotionally charged content without ever checking the original source? And in BTS's case, how many have hastily taken a photo with Justin Bieber as proof of internal conflict? Do you truly believe that HYB, a company with such tight reputation control, would allow their two main members to appear at key global music locations without top-level approval? Or is this a symbolic release that has long been hidden from the public until it could no longer be managed by formal narrative? One thing to emphasize is that not everything that appears reflects reality. What looks like creative freedom may be the result of systemic pressure. What seems like a global collaboration may be an escape from internal constraints. And most frighteningly, what the public perceives as artist happiness may be a mask hiding uncontainable tension. Now we must ask openly, did Jungkook and Taehyung really leave BTS? Was it their personal decision? Or were they pushed out through indirect pressure and long-running structural manipulation? And more than that, is Bang's Si Hyuk telling the truth? Or hiding something bigger behind his vague remarks? If all this is part of a scheme to trigger global virality, the next question is, how much integrity do BTS and their management still hold? What if the member exit narrative is just a manipulative tool used to trigger emotional and commercial fan responses? Are we being shown the truth, or manipulated by high-level marketing strategy? This is a time when the public can no longer rely solely on emotion in dealing with something of this magnitude. We need information awareness. Every news snippet, viral tweet, and short video must be analyzed, examined, and questioned. Not everything said in front of the camera is fact. Not everything filmed backstage is a lie. So, where do we stand? It's important to remember that the dynamics we're witnessing are part of a complex entertainment industry system, where reality and fiction are often crafted to be indistinguishable. The reflection is not just about Taehyung and Jungkook. The reflection is, can we still tell what's real and what's engineered? Do we still have the capacity to say, I don't know, I'll look into it more, rather than spreading unverified information? Let's ask ourselves, is ARMY's current disappointment truly based on facts, or shaped by the domino effect of collective assumptions lacking concrete grounding? Is the anger we feel a response to truth, or a product of social media algorithms amplifying public panic for reach? We must be brave enough to consider the worst possibility. What if all of this is part of a gradual dismantling of BTS's image to introduce new entities that can be resold to the global market? What if this conflict was designed to pave the way for a more profitable new formation? Or conversely, is this merely a public misinterpretation trapped in a cycle of rumors and digital illusions? One thing is clear, the public must never stop asking questions, because only through questioning can we avoid the trap of manipulation. And only through critical reflection can we save ourselves from the mass blindness that has become a trend in the digital age. The information presented in this article comes from various open sources, including TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and international community forums. However, the validity of the data and the interpretation of each piece of information still requires further verification. We do not claim absolute truth. Instead, we urge you, the readers, not to trust any single statement without validation. We invite you to discuss, rethink, and reanalyze this entire narrative. Are we truly seeing reality, or a shadow created to obscure a far more complicated truth? Are you sure you've gotten the full picture of everything that's been circulating? Or do you sense that a significant portion is being deliberately hidden? There is no absolute truth without thorough investigation. And there is no reflection without the courage to question everything, including the source itself. So, let's not merely be spectators of this drama. Let us become vigilant readers, sharp thinkers, and a community not easily swayed by the uncontrollable tide of information, because behind every piece of news, there's always an unanswered question. And it is that question that determines whether we are seeking truth or merely watching an illusion.